Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of Men and Women Talk, the Mars Venus Show. I am your only host tonight, Kensei, and I am so happy to be here with you fine people. As I reported on our last episode, no longer do I have Shannon as my co-host. We didn't fall out or anything like that. She moved and her schedule just wasn't linking up. So I do have a new co-host who will be joining me. We're actually moving the show on to Wednesday nights back at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. And that co-host is Mosaic Star. And so I'm very excited. I've been friends with her for quite a long time. And she's a wonderful human being. She's been on programs of mine before. We've always wanted to work together. And so we have this opportunity to do so. So hopefully at some point when Shannon is able to, we'll have her back on and all of that good stuff. So that's just a little message to the listening audience. I will no longer be doing this show on Get Vocal. I'm just going to do it primarily on this platform. And, and maybe if something else changes, we'll find out. I don't know. But with all that said, let me get to my wonderful guests. Both of these people are really cool. Now, technically, this is my first real opportunity to get a chance to talk to Brother Cedric, but I've known Angie for quite a while. So I'm going to introduce both of you guys, and then I'm going to kind of get into the origins of how I met Sister Angie. But first, Cedric, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Cedric Thomas. I'm married to Angela Thomas here, my beautiful wife. We've been married going on 20 years here, and we're both marriage advocates and have been for a while.
He said about you. He wants to know about you and your lovely self. Who is Cedric Thomas?
A dad, a son, a husband. Played professional basketball overseas. Now currently own my own construction company, and trying to matriculate through the world.
Good stuff.
All right, and Sister Angie.
Well, I have been on quite a few times before, but I am a mother of 5, 3 of them being triplets. So we've had quite a journey.
Oh yeah.
Work at a school, and I do private investigations on the side. So I have a couple of things going on in my life. So fun stuff.
That sounds like a story in itself about the private investigations.
It is.
I'd like to hear some of them stories.
You know what, Kid?
maybe for after the show. But I want to first start off. I've talked about this before on when we had you on the program, but a lot of people know that listen to the show that a lot of us in our little community met on this platform called Blab. And that's how I met Sister Angie. And you know how you meet somebody and you feel like you've known them like forever. You know what I mean? And I swear, because like one thing I love about Angie is like Angie, like when I met her, it was just like we just knew each other. You know what I mean? And she's like the coolest person. She is, very, polite and kind. And also, it was just easy to get to know Angie. And we would be on there, like our group would be on there for hours chatting. And just had a great time. And one thing that I always like about when you meet someone who is married, whether they're male or female, is how they speak of their significant other. Right. And from the rip, Angie would talk about her husband, Cedric. Before I even heard him in the background ever or knew anything about him, I felt like I knew the brother because she would talk about him, so positively, and especially as us Black people, it's just cool to see Black couples that show each other love like that. Because we hadn't met the brother yet, but we knew the brother. Like we knew, like we knew you, man. And even though we didn't know you, right? And then finally we would hear you in the background sometime and whatnot. And it's an honor to meet you guys. I mean to meet you. And I'm a fan of you guys' material, like Black Love United, and I love to watch you guys on your podcast and the way that you guys are just so respectful towards each other, and you guys are like seem like best friends.
We are.
Yeah, we're good friends. Yeah, that's part of the keys to our success.
Like, because we can talk about this is the nasty C word, COVID, exposed a lot of relationships.
Woo, boy.
Did they?
That weren't built on good foundations.
Right.
So a lot of people realize I don't really care about the mate I'm with. And the ones that really make it are, I always say this: you need to be able to be boring with your significant other, meaning that life is not all. You're not always going to be in Turks and Caicos. You're not going to always be turning up and all of that. So you need to be able to spend a quiet night with each other, play Scrabble with you and the kids, and whatever it is that you guys do. Yeah. And so those are the relationships that had no problem in the in the quarantine. So I think a good way to start off was how was it dealing with this last year? I know you guys in Florida, right? So So how did you guys you guys already were a close couple, but what was it like being in quarantine with each other?
Well, actually, I think it was good for us. I mean, we were already in a pretty good place, but it forced us to, I guess, slow down and reevaluate some things, and also to spend more time together because, you get in a routine of working and doing things. You're together, but you're not really spending time together, as it were. So with the quarantine, we had a lot of time to talk and to spend time together, to have fun. So it actually was good for us, I think. I mean, it brought us closer together. So what do you think, babe?
We had some trials through quarantine.
Oh, we did, yeah.
My husband had pulmonary embolisms, several of them blood clots, and he almost died. And he spent time in the hospital, which of course nobody wanted to go to the hospital because of COVID. Right. But he ended his first time in his life ever having to be admitted to a hospital was then. And it was a scary time. But then that brought us close together because you realize that it was right before Father's Day. So you realize that he could have not been here for Father's Day. So how many things do you do in your marriage that you fuss about or have issues with, that if that was their last time with you, that wouldn't be a big deal?
Right, that's not that important.
Right. So now it says, when you get ready to get into disagreement, is this really that serious? Because most of the time it's not.
Right.
Well, I'm glad that you seem to be on the mend. So that you're doing well.
He's doing much better.
Let's start with the origins of Cedric and Angie. How did you guys meet?
We're gonna give you church version. You want church version, or you want real?
Any version you're comfortable with.
You know us, Kente. We're comfortable with everything. We tell our own stuff, so there's nothing for somebody else to tell because we tell it.
Right.
All right.
We met. I worked in the salon. I did nails for 17 years. So he came in the salon that I was working in. It was not normally his salon. I was doing nails.
Right.
So they said, "Oh my God!" I was the salon where the nail section I was in a room in the middle. Barbers on one side, stylists on the other. I was in the middle. He came in, all the girls, and they were like, "Oh my God, who is that? Blah blah blah. Who is that chocolate? Whatever. Ooh, he reminded me of Morris Chestnut. That's how Morris Chestnut was big." And so, he was fresh out of overseas playing ball, so he was chill doing his thing. And so I went out and I asked one of the barbers who I knew, who was that, whatever.
Right. So
I went in the back, and then I came back. The salon owner talked to me for a little while. So when I came back, he was gone. Right. Well, I was handed his phone number. It said, "Big Ced, I want you to call him." I was confused because, we didn't have any interaction, it's him and I,
Right.
you know, so it was just weird. Like, okay, so, but then fast forward, what did he tell you, love, about me?
He told me that church girls were easy.
That ain't what he told you. What he told you?
So he told me to get in there.
He told him I was a hoe and they had ran the train on me and you can get it easy and all this other stuff about me. I mean, when I say he dirty dog me, like, and I went to private school with him when we was little, but I would never talk to him. So I guess he was throwing shade that way. But
he went to all the school because he went to school with me for a while and then he left and went to another high school. So he went to all the schools in Central Florida.
Well, his plan didn't work.
Right. And we saw him probably about 6 years after we were married. And he was like, you guys should be thanking me and blah, blah,
I said,
blah.
We're married in spite of you. And he was looking crazy because, see, they don't realize that.
He didn't think I was going to tell.
Cedric and I talk about everything.
He told me, right?
Good, bad, and different. So if you tell him, I know. And if you tell me, he know.
Wow. Now that's some hating for real.
Another level.
Exactly.
Because you can get.
That's great.
But it was meant to be, though. So when you saw her, was it a love at first sight?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't really see her because what happened is I was supposed to be going out of town, and my barber that I normally go to was out of town. So my buddy Kurt owned the shop that she was working in. So I said, well, let me go down here and see if I can get somebody to cut my hair. And at the time, the guy that we talked about was the only one there that was cutting. I'm gonna let him cut my hair. So I was only there for a few minutes.
Right.
I was in and out, so I was kind of in a rush because I was supposed to be leaving to go out of town. You know, you can't go out of town looking any kind of way.
But when you did see me, honey, tell him the wonderful story that we don't have.
Actually, I really didn't like her that much. We used to argue like back and forth. It was weird because we would talk, we would argue, and then we would get off the phone, we would talk for a little bit, and then we call each other again like the next day or a few days later and talk again. I'm like, why do I keep talking to this woman? Everything we talk is argument, or we don't see eye to eye. And so we did end up going on a date to the movies, I think.
To the movies.
And it was okay, but I wasn't like blown away by it. But we just kept hanging out. And so we ended up becoming good friends and we had fun together, and it kind of went from there.
So we don't have a love story, Kente. All the stuff.
No.
I laughed when I told Cedric, I said, can we reinvent this? Can we start over? Like I be telling him to do something now. He's like, no, that's just our story.
That's what it is.
And so I be wanting the love story, but we don't have it.
20
But
years
that makes it even better though, because
Does it?
it's not the Hollywood BS, and if you're waiting for that, it lets you know though, like, love can come in a lot of different ways.
Correct.
So, I mean, actually, I like that story because it's actually.
I want a love story, Kente. I want a love story.
Well, you know what? You can write in your memoir that, but then put in the quotations at the end is like.
Right.
No, but I love it though. I love it. In a couple of weeks, just as a side note, in a couple of weeks, when we move to Wednesday, we're going to be doing a show on twins. And so we're going to have different sets of twins, identicals and fraternal twins. But you have them beat because, and we've talked about this once before on the show, you have triplets.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I've said this to your wife before, Cedric. The idea of having 3 humans inside of a person is just mind-boggling,
It's ridiculous, right?
Right.
It's ridiculous.
That's just the idea. I mean, 1 is is crazy. 2 is crazy, but 3. I mean, 3 kids moonwalked out of your womb.
They moonwalk. Kente, and they're 10 hours apart.
They're what?
10. So my son came that morning. I think it was 9:00, and my girls came that evening. 10 hours later, one is like 7:02 and one is 7:04. So they are 10 hours apart. Yeah, so he had to do it extra special for me. I was like, God, why'd you have to make this be so special?
Right.
Jesus.
Wow. I just think that's incredible. That and how many kids do you guys have in total?
5.
5 children. Wow. And what are the ages range from?
25, 3 21-year-olds and a
15.
15-year-old.
Yeah.
Wow. So in 3 years, you guys will be empty nesters, possibly?
Yes, sir. Hallelujah.
Yeah, I see that.
Is that something you guys are excited about, or
What?
He is extremely.
I'm already playing the party.
It's a party. He's more excited than me.
But as the youngsters say now, it's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe. What?
Do better.
So before we get into Black Love United and that, I just want to just really kind of go into how would you describe you guys' parenting skills? Old school, some new school?
I'm old school for sure.
I'm old school, but not as old as Cedric.
I'm like Georgia outhouse old school. That's how I was raised, so I'm sorry.
Hey, did you guys ever have to give the talk to any of them?
Which talk is that?
Birds and the bees, that kind of thing.
Oh,
we didn't have birds and bees. We had sex and sex
yeah.
is good. Sex feels good, but wait to get married,
Right.
because if not, then you're gonna have a whole bunch of other problems, and it's gonna cloud your judgment. Yeah, we didn't have birds and bees. We had sex.
Yeah. Among all the other talk that we had, we had all that.
Yes, we had a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. All
That
right.
was one of the first times that they found out that we had sex. You remember that?
Yeah. They didn't think that we still had sex.
I guess they thought we was too old.
Yeah.
And so they came home, they was like, oh, we was in sex class, and they talked about disease and this and that and da-da-da, and sex is nasty. And then one of them kids said, Mama had sex, but said she only had sex 3 times or something like that. And I was like, girl, I had sex 3 times yesterday. Have a seat.
3 times she got pregnant. Yeah.
And I was like, and they were like, I was like, no, marriage, sex is good. It feels good. You're going to like it. But you wait till God says, wait till marriage.
Right.
And I said, I failed at that, but it's the way you're supposed to go now. So
Right.
I failed.
Right.
Yeah. And also you guys are a Christian couple.
Yes.
And so when you guys first got together, were you both in the church?
I grew up in the church, but I wasn't really going like that at the time. So but we did go to church together frequently after we kind of decided we were together. We put as my wife said at the time, you're gonna give me the title. She wanted to be my girlfriend.
Oh my God. So don't do that.
I gave her the title of girlfriend.
Now you're doing the most.
Then we went to church together all the time at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I grew up.
Did you guys what denomination did you guys both grow up in?
I did grow up non-denominational.
I grew up in Southern Baptist.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
so that's what I'm saying. I'm country, like the church that we used to go to when I was little, no AC, wood church off the ground with ceiling fans that didn't work, and it'd be hotter in the church than outside.
Look, I grew up in the church, Baptist. I went to church like 4 times a week. You know, was in the choir. I didn't do usher board. Youth services. I was heavy into the church. My grandfather was a minister. My father wasn't as big. He grew up in the church too, but he didn't go to church. So he didn't go to
grew
church.
Up never he didn't go.
Right. But but my dad was something else. But another side note, I meant to say this in the open. Big shout out to a mutual friend of ours, Ronald Smith, whose birthday is today. So birthday, yeah, DJ Ronnie Ron, happy birthday! Great brother, love his content.
You met him through me though, right?
Yeah, that's how I met him. And
I was like, did you know him before me? Okay.
Andrew Crowley, Pastor Crowley, yeah. I met them through you, and love their content. And they've been on fire with their content.
Listen, the one last week, that people was getting it was so funny. I said, Lord Jesus.
Yeah. I just love their content. And because I tell people, because sometimes people don't want to listen to Christian content. And I'm like, maybe they don't go to church or whatever. And I'm like, look, you can enjoy their content and not be like heavy into the church, you know,
Right.
and hopefully they'll learn something from it too.
I don't think so, Kente.
Yeah, I think so. They're entertaining. I think they're entertaining.
Let me tell you why I don't think so. Because church people have a problem with them because they are talking the Bible as opposed to feel good, and the church era now is feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Is I want to feel good.
Right.
I want to go to church and feel good. Like, okay, I saw a pastor today put a post. He said, you know, it's good that we can connect online and people come to online service that's going to make them feel good, give them inspiration. So it's going to be a lot of inspired people in hell is what he said, because there's no condemnation, there's no conviction. Everybody just want to feel good,
Right.
but there is something you have to do. So it's right. Like when they talk about the fact that some things you can and can't do in the church and who's supposed to be doing what, people don't like that talk because you got a whole bunch of women pastors, and you know, Carly definitely tell you that there's no way that when the Bible says there's no women pastors. And so you got a lot of touchy subjects. So people that are not church definitely don't want to hear that. And the saved people don't want to hear. I'm just telling you, because I know people that say, I can't listen to that mess. Because I've been
I know people who they've listened to it and they're not necessarily holy rollers. And they're like, oh man, these guys are entertaining. So
well, good.
You know. But I enjoy.
I think most of my people are church.
Brother.
That might be why.
Happy birthday, brother! All right, so so let's get to Black Love United. Talk about the genesis of it and the goals of it.
Go ahead, man.
So I'm a PK. Grew up in the church. And so what I saw was sister and brother such and such come to church looking happy, look well, dressed well, and then all of a sudden they're not married anymore. They're not married anymore, and I was trying to figure out what happened. Like I missed it. Like my parents have been married for 60-something years, and so I just couldn't understand how. Okay, now he with somebody else or whatever,
right.
And I began to see that there was this type of hypocrisy in the church where we would tell you the right things, but we weren't doing that. We weren't living that. And we weren't honest about it. We had discussions about it.
Right.
And so I feel like I've always been the wild child, the too open person. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like we needed to have a conversation, a genuine conversation about it. And so it started with Cedric and I telling our story. Because the first 5 years of our marriage was a living hell. I had been married before. So all your normal stuff that people don't like to say about themselves, I tell it. Right. And so we're not perfect people. In fact, that's not what God looks for. He doesn't look for perfect people. He looks for imperfect people that are willing to do what he asks you to do and go where he asks you to go and listen to his call.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how anyone could think that anyone could be perfect, but you know, we're all human beings. You know, we all, you know, I think we put our pants on one leg at a time. Most of us do. So to even put that on somebody is, I think, problematic. But one thing I love about you guys is your thing is like, okay, just because you're a Christian-centered couple doesn't mean you can't have a joy in your relationship, you know?
Right.
And I love that. You guys have fun. You guys have a ball. And I know that you do things with other couples, not like 2 weeks ago. But,
no, not now. You know,
no, I mean, you guys have like fun, you know, outings and stuff like that. And you guys did the deal with the balloon. Tell us about that.
So we used to have every, I think it was like once a month or sometime we would have an event where we would have somebody go to someone's house. They would host it. We have food. We had discussion games, and so we was looking up games, and we couldn't find what we wanted. So we created this game, and it's funny because now people play the game, and other people are like, "Oh, we play this game," and I'm like, "Y'all got that from us." That thing had 4 million views. It went viral.
Yeah,
wow.
And so, you know, we just was trying to be creative because people, and I had people attack me in the church world that say, you're supposed to be a minister. How dare you? And I'm like, what? Have fun with my husband? Like, we not butt naked. I'm not having sex I'm not doing porn. Like, I'm having sex and enjoying my husband. I want him to hump on me. That's what's wrong with the church. They humping on somebody else because you won't let them hump on you. Hump on me. I'm just saying.
So explain it what the balloon exercise is.
Well, it's two couples, and you have a specified distance. The woman is on one end, the man is on the other end with the balloon. And the man's job.
You have a bag of balloons, though.
Right.
Like, you have a certain number of balloons.
And a certain time limit. And the object of the game is to burst the balloon with your crotch region and her buttocks region, and to burst as many as you can in the allotted time period. So that's the crux of the game.
If you don't mind, I'll show a little snippet of it, and I'll put it in.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's the best way to describe it.
Kente, there was another game that we played that if you saw it, it was so bad we couldn't post it. But it wasn't.
Sorry, man.
Oh, that one. Oh, sorry, you saw it now. You put my head down.
Trick balloon. Hilarious.
Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my God. Kente.
Hilarious.
I think they cheated us and gave us them Teflon balloons.
Because we always win that game.
Yeah,
and that particular night, we could not
break those balloons.
Oh my God.
That is so funny, man. But that might actually made it better though with the balloons though.
Yeah, I think because you just had to grab my head and yoke it down.
Listen, like, it wasn't breaking, so I figured if we, do it more natural, that it would break in a more
just slam my head down.
Right. The angles were off. The trajectory was not right. So I had to help you with, what I'm saying?
How you would normally hit it.
Yeah. So I was just,
He is a mess.
So if you guys see a couple that may need to speak to you guys, maybe they're going through tough times or whatnot, like what is it that you guys do with Black Love United to help couples?
We do one-on-one sessions with couples, but it's not a one-time session. They have to do a series because when somebody comes to you with, oh, my husband, this, that, or my wife, it's usually not what they're pointing out.
Right.
It's usually
something else.
Something underlined, like he may feel disrespected, and instead of him just saying it, he acts out or does something or shuts down another way. So in order to get through to that, and we use laughter and we tell our stories because doggone almost everything that they talk about, we've been through those stories. So
right.
we can share and usually that let them let their guard down when we share.
Well, also we use real world techniques on how to deal with things. Like a lot of times I know because we seek SALT counseling from a myriad of different sources, and they'd be like, oh, respect your husband or love your wife like Christ loved the church. Okay, that's fine.
But how does that look?
How does that look when I'm pissed off at her or she's mad at me or whatever the case may be? So we give real life scenarios of how to deal with things, how to get your emotions in check, and how to do certain things. And also we tailor each session that we have for the couple that we have. There's not a one size fits all for everyone.
Right.
Every couple is different. Every couple has a different set of challenges and circumstances that they deal with. So you have to tailor make something that's specific to them to help them. No one's help is the same.
I love it because people go through issues that are different to them, but then they also go through stuff that's unique to them, but also things that we all can relate to and have gone through it. So that's so cool. So how long have you guys been married? I don't know if we said that.
He said it, but I think you said it wrong. You said we've been going on 20 years. Is it 20 years?
Yes.
We've been together over 21 years.
20, yeah, almost 22.
But he said it's going on 20. That's what he said. I don't know.
I said going on 20 years.
And it's funny because we're not our anniversary and times. We're not that couple. Like, you don't know our anniversary. We're not that couple.
Well, we've had 10 weddings. So
don't do that. We have not had 10 weddings.
We got married. And then we got married. And then we got a 2-year, a 5-year, a 10-year.
We did not do it. Okay, so he's lying.
15-year.
He's exaggerating. We did have, we had renewals.
So I'm confused. I don't even know what the wedding date is anymore. We don't have so many of them bad boys. I had like every day is our anniversary. Happy anniversary.
I can't stand you. Oh, I can't stand you.
So, all right, give me straight, baby. Give me straight.
We said enough.
Now you guys have been together for over 2 decades. So that means you guys know each other very well. You would say, right?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
What was something about each other, getting to know each other, that surprised you about one another?
Well, I would say if you know my wife, you've met her, she's very outgoing. She's very free-spirited. I was surprised about how broken she was. And she was really...
That's a good one, babe.
She was like a shell of a woman. So that was my surprise because, like, if you meet her, she's the life of the party. She's so fun. She's so outgoing. But underneath that, there was a lot of vulnerability and things that need to be... Vulnerability. A lot of holes that needed to be filled.
You're absolutely right. That was a good one.
You like that?
I did. That's very observant, honey. Yeah. That might be some kudos in that.
What about Cedric? What were some things that...
Yeah, give me something good now. I gave you a good one. Yeah.
So mine is a 2-part. Okay. That he did have feelings. So he's a big black guy, and he can have a blank stare in his face. And for years, I just assumed he didn't care about anything. But he did have feelings. I just was so talkative and loud, and I would answer first, that I wouldn't give him time to, I wouldn't even like offer a time for it. Cause I was just like, oh, he's just gonna do what I want. He don't care either way. You know what I'm saying? And so that was one. Cause I honestly, for years, I didn't think he had feelings. Cause, I think he was just so frustrated at where we were, and that he didn't see, we were bumping heads for so long in the first 5 years that what I say didn't matter anyway. We're going to bump heads. So he just kind of just left it. So that left me to believe that he didn't have feelings. So the other side is Cedric is really a big teddy bear. His exterior, like Kente, I wanted to start a business, and I've mentioned before, and just like over the years, I've talked about I wanted to do this and wanted to do that. And about a month or 2 ago, when I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start this business or whatever, my sister told me something, but then Cedric said, I have a whole Amazon shopping cart page that's for you. He named the business and had everything that I have talked about and that I would potentially need listed under there. So he pays attention to what I want. Like if I said, man, I need a pair of red tennis shoes, I have a red Vapor Max just randomly. Like he listens to the stuff that I say and that I don't say, stuff that I didn't even know that would make my life easier. And I mean, he could be like, I ain't getting nothing else. But then the next thing I know, something is coming here. And I'm like, I didn't even know that. I was like, I don't need this. And then saying, no, I'm using it like it's going out of style. So just his attentiveness and how he's a big teddy bear. He looked mean. But he's not at all. At all.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's very sweet. Wow, that's so cool. So what is it that you guys want to do with Black Love United going forward?
Well,
yours is different than mine.
Well, not really. The ultimate goal is to help as many marriages as we can to become strong and prosperous, because strong marriages make strong communities. Like we have all these kids that are broken, that don't have an example of what a loving relationship looks like. So how can you expect them to have loving relationships if they have no examples?
Correct.
So that's the main goal. So whatever avenue that takes to get it out to the masses is what it's about. It's not about us. It's about the institute of marriage itself and making it strong, especially in our community, because you don't see examples of strong Black marriages. It's always the wife is running the husband, or the husband is doing something he ain't got no business, or they sneaking around doing this, and like it's always a mess. You know what I'm saying? On the stuff that you see, it's never any healthy relationships where.
And they have fun together. Like Cedric and I literally have fun. Like we will have a pillow fight. Like we really have fun. Like we might play butt naked twister. We have fun. Hokey pokey, you know. Would you? I love it. But we have fun, and you don't see. Most time you see anybody say something about marriage, they think about balling. They ball and chain. I gotta go home to the wife, or she fuss, and then you try to wait till she sleep to go home. Like who? No, when he home, like, how long will you get here? He like, man, can I go to the store? I was like, man, I got something to tell you. Or I'm sending him a YouTube clip or a TikTok clip or something. Like, it's like that's who I send my stuff to all day long. So we enjoy each other.
Right. Now, no, I'm not married. I've never been married, but I hope to in the near future jump the broom. What's some advice you could give to a brother like me, Cedric, who, maybe embarking on that in the future, or a guy who is maybe engaged and he wants to do right by the relationship and make it last. What's some advice you can give?
A couple of things. First, I would say communication is very important. You have to ask specific questions to get specific answers, because if the more work you do before you get married, the less foolishness you have to go through after you get married. Because like Maya Angelou says, if someone trying to tell you who they are, believe them. Just because you get married, it's not going to change. And a lot of times people like, well, I see this red flag, but I'm not going to worry about it because after we get married, it's going to change. Or after we get married, I'm going to do this and they're going to change that. That's not how it works.
Right.
You need to do the work ahead of time before you get married. Ask the questions about finances, how you're going to raise the kids, where you're going to stay, what's your religion, what's your long-term goals, what's your retirement plan. Are you someone that wants to be an entrepreneur? They want to work 9 to 5. Like all those things are important, because you can't be diametrically opposed and have a close relationship. It just doesn't work like that. So getting those conversations in about important things is important before you get married, not just trying to put your best foot forward and asking all the fluff stuff like how's the weather, how your mom and dad doing, all that kind of stuff. You need to ask the real question. Especially the older you get, the less time you have to waste with foolishness. So,
and you are in your ways.
Right. But I'm saying you ask those questions right away, so you go, okay, you know that's not even a possible candidate for marriage because they're on a whole nother page than me.
Right.
Now, can you still go out there and have fun? Yes, but don't even waste your energy to try to get serious with that person because they're in a whole different headspace or whatever the case may be. So,
right.
Yeah, that would be my advice.
What was it like for both of you guys meeting the other's family for the first time? Uh-oh. What, did I step on a landmine there?
Yeah, it was not good.
It was rough, and it's
neither one of our families liked either other one for a while.
Well, our families been like. It's so funny because
like me.
It's funny because we were always used to when we meet somebody's family, they liked us,
right?
And so for us to be that opposite, I was like, it had to be so something weird, that God had strategically planned because.
Well, but what it did was it kept the family out of the way while we were in our relationship.
It did. Now that is true. Yeah. Because they didn't care for each other. And my husband, I gotta give him props for this too. Most people, like if your mom don't like your wife, whenever things go crazy, he go tell her and it drives a bigger difference. He did not share, and he would not allow any negativity come in. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that's not what happened. Or yes, this happened. Like he was willing to just say, this is what it is. And most people don't do that. They, oh, mama, she treated me so bad. Oh, whatever.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing too. If the if my family is out of pocket with my spouse, then it's my job to deal with them, to put them back in their place. It's not her job, because it's my family. Because if she get an altercation with them, they'll never forgive her. You know what I mean? If I get an altercation with them, I'm the family. They'll forgive me. You know what I mean? So it's my job to say, hey, you're wrong. You know, we're not going to have that. This is my wife. This is what it's going to be. If you don't like that, then hey.
You have no idea how big of an issue that is with couples.
Right.
Where the disrespect, the wife or whatever, and nothing is said. Yeah. Walk in the house, got a key. You were wait a minute.
Have y'all done a show on that, in this topic?
We actually have. Well, which one? Yeah, we did talk on in-laws and boundaries.
Yeah, but that's been years ago. We probably revisit.
We do. Like I said, we do couples. We do premarital counseling. Like we're certified in Orange and Seminole, so we do premarital counseling. And our premarital counseling is not like the average premarital counseling. We talk about, like they used to talk about, like finances. I think it's 4 topics that you have to talk about with the state. But they just kind of go through like a little regimen. We are digging like, okay, so when y'all get married, y'all gonna have each other passwords?
Right. Social media. How does that look?
Like we talk about. Okay, can you befriend your ex? Like, are you cool? You know what I'm saying? Like,
how often are you requiring sex? That's another topic.
Oh my God.
If one wanted once a month and one wanted once a day, like, how do you bridge that gap?
Like we started out.
Going back to the issues with the in-laws and the friends and stuff. There's a thing that I've talked about on the show. It's called poisoning the well. It's what I call poisoning the well, where let's say you and your significant other have your normal issues, right? And then you go talking to a sister or a homie or a mother even, and you give your one-sided point of view of how it went down. And then, you keep doing that, and then you're wondering why your mama don't like my, or why,
Right.
Be real careful when you go to your friends and stuff, and then you share what's going on in your relationship, and this is your one-sided view, so it may not necessarily be 100% the truth, or it's out of context or whatever. So you have to be real careful when you share issues in your relationship, because you can do them a disservice, because then now every time you go to the barbecue, they looking at your mate side-eyed because of some crap you said that you didn't poison. So that's something I actually I would might.
That's a good analogy. Well, I like that.
Yeah, we address that frequently because human nature is they want to tell somebody what happened.
Right.
They can't just keep it to themselves. So what we recommend is that you talk to another married couple that's trying to have a healthy relationship, or one that has a healthy relationship, and limit it to just that couple. You don't want to tell a bunch of different people what you got going on. You know what I mean? And preferably that's somebody not in your family.
Preferably pray first.
Right.
I mean,
that too.
A lot of times when I was mad at Cedric and I would pray, and I wanted to tell him all, there's a time God was checking me in my mouth and how I talked to him or was disrespectful. I would be mad and crying, and then God would tell me, just shut your mouth. Just shut up. You were like, wait, what? Shut up. And because I was going to go tell him how he was wrong and I had all lined up what I was going to say, and he would tell me, shut up. I mean, it was like almost like audible. And he was like, don't let him see you crying. Like I had to fix my face. And then Cedric would come on and say, hey, babe, I'm sorry for this, or let's do this. So the issue was resolved, because it's like God speaks to me, he can speak to Cedric. But when you go to, if I would have said what I was thinking and how it would have went way, way, way left, way left.
I find it so fascinating that, you guys said the first 5 years were really difficult, and that you guys weathered the storm, and you guys are doing great. What was it about each other that made you feel like to hang in there? Because, a lot of times if we see, I've ejected a lot out of situations, maybe prematurely, so what was it about each other that made you go, you know what, I want to work it out and I want this to work?
Well, I know for me, you were on our show. We were talking about generational curses, and on my dad's side, it's a lot of outside kids and lots of women and things like that. So early on in my life, I made up in my mind that one, I won't have a bunch of kids running around, and two, that I wanted to be married, and I want to be married one time. So my mind was made up when I was a little boy before I even got married. So when I came into the marriage, I was like, well, I decided to marry her, so I got to make it work because this is my one. So that's my mindset. Like, even though it's not going as I would like it, I figure I have to hang in there because I only want to be married once. And playing sports helped me with that because there are always times in sports where it's not going your way. So if it's not going your way, you're just going to quit and stop playing? No, you're going to try or keep working and getting better. Right. And readjust your game plan until you win. So if I can't go that way, okay, I'm going to go this way. So that was my mindset. I don't know what yours was.
Oh, Lord, I've been married before. And my parents had been married for 60-something. They're married now 60-something years. But I'm like, I'm moving relationship to relationship, and there's obviously something that I need to fix. I mean, not that because I was in an abusive relationship before, so of course that wasn't, here for that. But I obviously need to work on me, and I just felt like I'm going from problem to problem, and maybe I need to address my problems. So it's kind of like a work on you. You know what I'm saying? And if you work on you, then you let God take care of the rest. And he really did. It wasn't no super spiritual moment. It was like you got to fix you. You jacked up.
Wow. I mean, look, you guys are such an inspiration. Because we put a lot of emphasis on situations that don't work. And I love that you guys, the way that you guys look at each other. You guys look at each other with such love, Do
it?
Yeah. Like when you're talking sometimes.
Her sister saying that.
My sister says we don't have that look. My sister,
I sister married, and he say they do it, but she don't do it.
Listen, and it's so funny because my sister said we don't look at each other. Well, she said Sarah doesn't look at me with like the googly eyes and love. Whatever. So that's funny that you say that because
I see googly eyes just now.
When I show the
googly eyes.
Oh my God! Well, listen,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Me trying to get on the show. I hope she's on here.
Right.
It's beautiful. I love it because you can. One thing you don't doubt is that you guys love each other, which is amazing. Wait, somebody says stop talking about me.
Oh yeah, she.
That's who said it. He said, Tanya, he said he see the googly eyes. She said she don't see it.
Right. See,
I see it. I see it.
See,
and I love it though. I love it. It's really inspirational. And I'm sure there's times I'm sure you guys get on each other's nerves. That's just part of it. But at the core of it is a real deep love for each other, and I love that. And it's also your children see that as well.
Yeah.
That. So so do you guys do the good cop, bad cop with the kids?
I think when they were smaller, we did some of that, but really as they get older,
I'm the good cop.
The funny part is she became more like me. She was harder the older they got. Like she got more rigid and more like, you know what? I'm sick of them. I'm finna, you know what I mean? So I laugh because I didn't say nothing. I was quiet, and before I know it, she was out there sounding like me. And I would laugh.
Listen. Okay, no, but let me tell you what my kids would do. So if they wanted to ask something that they didn't think Cedric would let them do, or they wanted to go somewhere do something, they'd be like, "Mama, go in there and use your body for us, use it for good."
Take one for the team.
They were like, "Mama, take one for the team." It was so funny because they were like, "Mom, this time we need." Look, they were coming like, "Mom, okay, listen, this time we need you to go in there. Yeah. Take one for the team now, Mama. Come on now." And it was so funny because it never fails. He come out there just like, "What you do? Go ahead,
go ahead, y'all. Go." That was hilarious. That is funny.
And so one day I was like, "Y'all not gonna keep using me." I was mad at them one day. Use my body. And then when my kids like, you like it, so hush. I was like, wait a minute, watch your mouth.
That is so funny. Oh, there's another video that I just happened to catch, and it was I'm not quite sure. I think it was one of the triplets was doing an impersonation of you, Angie.
Oh, God, yes.
And I think it was on Thanksgiving or what? It was some holiday.
Yeah, I think it was Thanksgiving, wasn't it?
No, that was a live at the house. I think
live, right?
It was a long time ago. It was like you weren't there, but they were mocking how I sound
in church.
Did they do Cedric?
Did I see that?
No, it was you. You were the
victim. Me. When Mama mad, she did like I was like,
I don't think I saw that one.
You didn't because you don't go back and watch my live.
I was cracking up. It was hilarious.
Kente thought it was so funny.
That was funny. That was funny. If she had a little tin cup, I'd have threw a couple of dollars. It was that funny. Yeah, that was pretty funny. So, but I believe it was one of the trips. I think it was the artist, right? The one who's the artist.
Shanice?
No, I think it was both. It was Shanice and Chanel. They both were doing stuff.
Was they both doing? Okay. Yeah. No, that's wonderful though.
That's funny.
So now you guys have an event coming up. I've been seeing the ads for it. A marriage conference.
Yes, a virtual marriage conference. So after these shows, our inboxes are blowing up. We get our stuff mainly from referrals. Somebody that we work with. And I think they think we're miracle workers. We're not. We can tell you practical things. We're here for you. You can call us. We get calls at 2:00 in the morning sometime. You be like, Lord.
Still up to you to do the work, though.
Yes. Yeah. And so we are super excited about being able to have a virtual marriage conference because everybody's not comfortable. I'm not comfortable. I don't go anywhere. But at least to help have some conversations and kind of help people deal, because some people are still stuck in this house and they're not there because they want to be. They're there because they can't afford to move.
Right.
So let's see if we can work on it where it's actually a good thing.
Yeah. We also have some conversations sometimes on Sundays along those lines where people can actually interact with us.
It's a Zoom.
Right. And ask questions and things of that nature. So.
All right.
The Sunday is very good because people get to talk. It's not them typing it and me trying to read it and them trying to type it real quick. They actually have conversation back and forth. So it's really good when we have those.
Right.
All right. So, if they want to check out your program, it's every Monday. Give us the times.
It's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just conversation. Topics that will come up. We have a lot of single people that are on our show weekly.
Yeah.
Like we have single people that tune in
every
weekly, like religiously.
Or people that are not yet married.
Or you're dating.
Right. All of that.
I mean, we have a broad. It's so funny because we have waves. We have 2 months where we have these same group of people. And then the next 2 months is a whole other group of people.
Yeah.
Like one of the girls that came on today, she found us on YouTube, because because of StreamYard, and so, hey, I just
all over the country.
I believe that whoever God wants to see us, will see.
Yep.
All right. So we're at the point of the show that I like to call rapid fire, and the way the rapid fire works is I'm gonna shoot you guys with some questions, and we'll see what happens with it. All right.
Let's go.
I need a graphic for rapid fire. All right. So a couple of years ago, there was a hologram concert for the rapper Tupac at Coachella. What dead artist or band would you like to see a hologram concert of?
Hologram.
Jackson. You are Michael Jackson all day.
Yeah, but I like Isaac Brothers too. And
they ain't dead.
Most of all of them are dead. There's only 2 left.
Just bring back the ones that are left.
The only 2 left. So I don't know. It's hard to pick between Michael Jackson.
Because
that's my guy.
Michael. What about you, Andy?
I don't have one.
No, there's nobody you want to bring back to see one more time?
No.
My people still alive.
Who's your people?
Old gospel people. You like them old gospel?
People.
The Winans.
They're alive.
All the Winans did except 2 of them, ain't it? Marvin and Carvin, I think the only 2 left of the world.
I don't have anybody, Kente. Sorry.
All right. What's you guys guilty pleasure junk food?
All of them. I like ice cream, cookie, donut, pie, cake, Debbie.
Debbie,
Debbie, all of them.
Mine is chocolate, Kente. Chocolate.
I don't like chocolate though.
Chocolate, everything chocolate, donuts, chocolate ice cream, chocolate bar, chocolate.
What is your favorite dish that each other makes?
That's tough. It's the white sauce and the shrimp.
White sauce is not a dish.
A dish for me. I put on anything. Not good for me.
What about the seafood pizza?
That's what no. It's either the white sauce or the shrimp boil sauce. We can do the shrimps and stuff.
Maybe that's not a dish. It's either the shrimp boil or the pasta with white sauce.
Whatever, either one.
So answer the question.
Shrimp boil sauce with potatoes and all that. There.
Help him, Jesus.
What does your husband make that you like?
Breakfast. Scrambled eggs. And
so
cheese
it has to be breakfast. My husband don't cook much, but he does make this.
I make better breakfast than him.
You don't make better breakfast than you just lie. But he put everything in it: eggs, onions, tomatoes, people. It be everything in it. You be a whole.
It's a frittata.
Well, I don't know about no frittata, but it be a whole.
Now, do you guys eat grits?
I do. I love grits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can't believe this is even a thing. But
sugar or salt, pepper?
None of that.
Yeah, sugar or salt.
Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper.
And cheese.
I honestly, the idea of putting sugar in grits is just
listen. And I thought you would be different because my brother-in-law's from California, and the people that's up
Long
north,
Beach,
they usually say sugar.
That's really. I don't know nobody from where I'm from that put sugar in their grits. We actually.
Arkansas.
Oh yeah, well,
from Pine Bluff.
I don't know.
What they doing in Pine Bluff?
I don't know.
All right, so this one you guys are gonna have to really think about this next one. You're walking down the street and you find money on the ground, and it's $666. Do you pick up all of the money, or do you leave $1 behind so it won't be evil? That's 666.
I'll leave $1 behind.
I'll probably leave 5 or 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave something.
Yeah, we'll leave some of that down there for somebody else.
I don't want no 666. I think the devil just put that up.
The Lord wants you to be a blessing, so I'll leave some down there for somebody else.
You know, it's funny. One time I was at the grocery store, and I had it came out to $6.66, and the woman behind me was like, "You gotta add something to it. You can't have that." Like this, she literally was gonna give me the money so that I could, Hey,
look, I don't know what it is, but that's black people.
Yeah,
black people be like, "Oh my God, 666, you don't play with the devil."
No, we don't play with no
devil.
Right.
We don't
do that.
Although I don't know now, this generation now they do some more other stuff.
No foolishness.
All right, so now you guys are based out of Orlando, right?
Correct.
Okay, so this is how we always end it. Now I know you guys been married a long time. You got to help a brother out. A young man wants to take a young lady out on a date in Orlando, and he needs you guys to help him plan the perfect date. This is a first date. So what's a great first date to take a young lady out on in Orlando?
That has changed, because originally I would say Lake Eola, but don't go there now.
Oh yeah, and let's just say in a world that COVID is not around. So you don't have to worry.
No. I ain't talking about COVID, but don't go.
It's 9 o'clock.
I would still say Lake Eola.
Really?
I would say take her to dinner. I probably would say something. One of those places that's down along the side on downtown by the office, by a law firm, because they're more reserved, like quiet, so you can have a conversation.
Yeah.
Loud places tend to make it not be where you can have a good conversation.
The date don't last as long because it's
like let's hurry we out of here.
Yeah.
And then like a walk. I don't recommend a movie on the first date because you have a conversation. And so the walk gives you time to, you want to see what kind of person you got. And if they like complaining the whole time.
Well, I like to go out to eat too, because what a person orders and how they eat tells you a lot about the person.
Yeah.
Oh God, well, I failed. Did not eat.
Yeah, people eat sloppily and slovenly, and
I eat crazy.
So that gives you a lot of insight. Dropping food all over the floor everywhere, you already know they place a mess.
Farting at the dinner table. Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming on the program, brother. This is the first time we really had a chance to talk. Yeah. And like I said, I feel like I know you. Your wife speaks so well of you all the time. And I see you, I see your program all the time. So I see you that way. And, our community here loves your wife. She's just a remarkable lady. And she's helped me out in so many ways. Yeah, she's helped me out. She's helped me out in so many ways. At times when I've needed guests, she's come on, and she's always really good. I always give her enough time so she can get those eyebrows right.
Yeah.
Listen, gotta get that face
only for you.
Yeah. Listen, once you take that face off, that'll only be it.
But I didn't have anything on in the face on because I've been home all day, so I had to put eyebrows on and clothes on for you, Kente.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, and like I said, you guys have a wonderful family, and keep doing what you're doing. And if there's anything that I can do to help you guys, I'm here for you. I really love what you're doing, and it's definitely needed. And when I'm ready to jump that broom, I'm gonna go for some marital advice from you guys. So for sure.
Yeah, you look. Yeah. When you ready to jump that broom, y'all, we gonna do us a Zoom. But I need to talk to her. I need to see who you got, Kente.
No, that's right.
Because I learned a little bit about you. You wouldn't think Kente is his core values is church. Like he talk crazy with his guests and stuff, but he want a woman as church. Like he wants you to be sexy, but he want church, and he got some course in. I was like, okay,
that's good.
I learned so much just listening to you, Kente, that by your shows, I would have never thought that, because you ask questions just to see what people are going to say in their response. And so people can get the wrong impression about who you are. But just over time listening, it's so funny. He'll come in the room and I'll be laying in the bed or doing something else. And he's like, you got that on? I'm like, I'm listening. Like y'all have a show. I was like, I'm listening. Like I'm doing other stuff, but I'm listening.
She be asleep.
No, I don't.
It's an old lady problem. See, you know how you say
you
watch your dad, the TV, the computer be watching you.
Listen, Kente, but now you can talk to him directly because he's had shows with just men, things of that nature. And he's like, I think your husband come on. I said, yeah, but he'll never get back with me, I guess. But get him, Kente.
I love to, because I you guys, like I said,
he ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah, I ain't no problem.
You want a man? Here you go.
Yeah,
hilarious. Next week's topic is going to be called making up. So it's about when you have situations in relationships, and how you can navigate making up with them. And also the following week on the 24th, we're moving to our new day and time, which will be Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. And that episode is called Single Too Long. So that one is about how people can be single for so long, they don't even know how to be in a relationship when they get in, So that's going to be a doozy.
That's a good topic.
Well, no, the making up too, that's my favorite. Sometimes you just poke a little, you know what I'm saying, make a little disturbance so you can make earlier I was just playing. I love you so much.
Ignore him.
Like, once again, thank you guys so much. How can we get in touch with you? What's your social media and all that good stuff?
You can find us on all social media platforms at Black Love United. You can find us at Ced and Angie. For people that are not comfortable with Black Love United, we're just an advocate for marriage in general, but we help our community to see that there are healthy marriages out there. But Ced and Angie, Black Love United, we're on Instagram, on Snapchat. Now we don't Snapchat much on there, but I Snapchat my personal thing.
What's the one I did the other day? Instagram? That?
He did Instagram. He does not work social media at all.
Instagram.
So he's like, I posted something, baby. I was like,
Instagram.
he posted on the store, Kente.
Yeah.
I was like, good, babe.
You see me? I'm getting it down pat.
I love it. And do you still play ball at all?
Oh no.
Yeah, last time you played ball was
I tore my Achilles.
last time you tried to play ball with our son, even though he's the youngest one, my son is tall. So he would do something, the son hit the ball, he would tore the Achilles trying to get to him. Sit down somewhere, son.
That was it for me. I'm done.
Sit down.
That's how I got them
blood clots.
pulmonary embolism because I tore my Achilles and I was laid up for 5 weeks.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Fun. I said no.
Golf. You can switch to golf.
I'm
making the transition to golf.
You watch basketball on TV. I got them working out though, Kente. They be fussing at me. I say, all right, we got 30 minutes. Everybody, look. I let them pick a workout, and we do a workout.
Yeah, I got to get back in shape. But yeah, that'd be too much. I might go out and do some shooting, but ain't no basketball run up and down. That's over with.
Yeah, hey, I'm right there with you.
Before that, I pulled my hamstring. So
yes. He went to play basketball with my 70-something-year-old dad, and my daddy brought him back, and I had to take him to the emergency room. I was like, dude,
I'm too competitive. I don't know how to chill.
You don't know how to chill.
I play basketball, so that's why I can't.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you know, like I used to play every day, so yeah, and it's hard to go half speed even when you have to play.
Well, because you know that's how we was taught. When you go half speed, that's how you get hurt.
That's how you get hurt.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, you old.
That too.
It's okay. So, I love it. I love your old self.
Listen, I don't live my hoop dream. I'm straight.
I love it. You can give me a Kente F on Twitter, Kente Ferguson on Instagram, and of course the website is indyradio.org. That's INDY radio.org. Have a great rest of your week, and God bless you.